Okay, this is the fifth time I've tried to make this video. I've been interrupted 4 times now. So let's try this one last time. Otherwise, I'm waiting till later. Okay, so welcome to Ancient History Video 2. As you can see, I'm feeling much better this week. It's a beautiful warm day out. Welcome to my kitchen. This is one of my favorite places in my house because it's really light, a lot of light. I have a fountain right outside my window where I can see my front garden. I have my sewing stuff right behind you. I've been making masks to send to my family in New York and New Jersey. And it's a beautiful, warm spring day. And so my husband and I are both working from home. So if he walks through here, he just got off work from the IRS. So he's working in the back room. Um, some things we need to take care of very quickly is that I wanted to let you know we're still doing enrollment. Enrollment is open. So please go online and enroll. We need you to enroll for fall. Fall classes will go on as of right now, as scheduled. And if you're not comfortable enrolling online by yourself, you can always call Kathy Ogle. Email Kathy Ogle, COGLE at rose.edu, and she'd be happy to contact you and help you enroll. If you're a history major, you can always contact me and we can go over a tentative schedule for the fall. And so, because we do want to keep those enrollments up. On-campus summer classes have been canceled. They will revert to online classes. So that will be what's necessary to be safe. We don't know how much longer this is going to last. I hope all of you are staying healthy and well and at home. Please stay home. And I know it's getting a little bit antsy staying in so much, but it is necessary. I've had 2 students who have emailed me who are very, very sick from COVID. My cousin just texted me and told me his son and his daughter-in-law have tested positive for COVID. So please take care of yourselves and take this seriously. We will be having a virtual graduation, which I don't really sure what that means. That means that they're going to have some sort of ceremony online for you, but no graduates. I won't be there either. And so, no professors, no students, but you will be invited back for the 2021 graduation and walk with those students then. So we're sorry that all this has to happen. I have set up a Skype account tied to my Google cell phone number, that 405-928-8068, that is on your syllabus. I've only Skyped once in my life, so this is going to be interesting, but I'm going to try to set up a time Thursday or Friday where I'm just going to have my Skype on, so if anybody wants to log in. And we'll see how it works. I'm much better at Google Face video chatting. I do know how to do that. I can do that easily. So if you need to talk to me or you're tired of looking at your 4 walls, feel free to call me, just not late at night. So I am asleep. That was Busy who just came in and said hi. She wanted Mama to pet her. Other things, I will be grading your class next. I've been trying to grade every class in order so that I have all the grades done and I can send out early alerts and notify people and things like that. So you guys are next up with your grading. Also, I will be uploading your first discussion for tomorrow. It will be due a week from tomorrow. Discussions are due every Wednesday. So we will have 4 discussions the rest of the semester, that will be due every Wednesday. And so they will be in line with what you're learning in the videos, what you're learning in your assignments. And so keep that in mind. And so we need to talk about some things. We did the fall of the Roman Empire, and basically you read the stuff, you posted, you wrote your argument. And there is a lot to be said about the fall of the Roman Empire. But one of the things we have to realize and y'all discussed it in great detail about the size of the empire, the economy, the leadership. Also, the empire shifted east with Constantine And when he Christianized the empire goes from being the Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire. And at that time, the only church that was really in existence was the Catholic Church. And so it was a Catholic empire. And that's why you have still today, you have the Holy Roman Catholic Church and you have the Holy Roman Empire, which is a Catholic empire. Once the emperor goes Catholic, everybody becomes Catholic. The only holdouts were the Jews and the pagans, and pagans were persecuted. But then you might get another emperor who didn't persecute pagans, who reverted back to paganism. So we're going to have a very unstable time right here, where the leadership is going to shift with whoever is the emperor. And also because the empire is so big, you have the Eastern Empire and you have the Western Empire. The Western Empire is really governed by the Pope, and the Eastern Empire is governed by the Patriarch of Constantinople, and that becomes Constantinople becomes the second Rome. And so you kind of have this splitting apart of the empire. Also, you have a lot of pressure on the border regions. One of the serious problems we're going to see that we really didn't discuss in the fall of the Roman Empire was the pressure of the barbarians and also the Goths. And so when you think about the Roman Empire, the area to the north and the east and Britannia are going to be pushing on this empire. And where are your frontiers? I'll text you, honey, in just a few minutes. Okay, thank you. He's leaving. And so you have Germanic tribes coming over the border. You have Goths coming over the border. You have all sorts of assaulting on the border regions. You're going to have two major invasions from the east, one being Fediger, who leads the Goths, and Alaric. So I hope that you'll read up about these guys. They were really fascinating, who served in the Roman auxiliary armies and used the Roman training and Roman weapons and Roman ideology to teach them how to invade Rome, to wait their turn. And so when we are looking at the sacking of Rome, it is these guys here. We kind of had to skip over Attila the Hun and all that stuff, and I hate that because that stuff's so fun. But we really need to move on to this more complex phase. And sometimes because this phase kind of gets lost in history, we will enter what is called the Dark Ages, but there for a while we were not supposed to call it the Dark Ages. We were supposed to call it the early medieval ages, and I'm not sure what that meant. And then they decided we can call it the Dark Ages again, and I don't know what, but I call it the Dark Ages. But basically, from the fall of Rome in the 400s until the rise of the empire again with Charlemagne in 800, we kind of have this period here where we don't know a lot. We really just don't know a lot. What we know is from records written by monks living in monasteries and copying, church doctrines and stuff. Shh, Wolfie, shush, shush. This is a problem working from home. And so we don't have a lot of written records. Matter of fact, there's massive plagues and we have a decimation of the population. I put a thing on your announcement the other day, a little plague chart. I hope you looked at it. If not, I'll put it in the module so you can see it. But you can see that the area is going to be decimated by plagues. Now, when we talk about plagues, we're not talking bubonic. We don't know what these plagues are. We don't know. They could have been measles. They could have been all sorts of diseases. We don't know. But it is going to decimate the population. We're going to see the big cities fall. We're going to see people resorting back to the very small villages, and kind of civilization just kind of breaks down. Now, in the West, the institution that held this all together is the Catholic Church. In every village, in every town, there is a Catholic church. And so your local priest and your regional bishop keeps somewhat structured life going. And if you like to read, one of my favorite historical novels is by Ken Follett, and it's called Pillars of the Earth, about the building of the Saint Denis Church, or you would call it Saint Denis, in France. But it really is a great look at medieval life, and it has a sequel to it called The World Without End, which is on my reading list once we get through all this. And I have never read the second one, so I just got it free from my Kindle not too long ago, so I'm going to read it. I'm trying to watch the glare here. I'm getting hit with glare. And so when we are looking at medieval life, we don't know a lot, but what we do see is the rise of the East. And one of the things that we really have to look at, and please pay attention to your videos on the crescent and the cross, on the rise of the Saracens, basically the rise of Islam. Islam is the third major religion of the people of the book to come out of the Roman Empire, to come out of this empire. And so I have a chart somewhere. I'll try to upload it for you. I usually write it on the board. Maybe in the next video I'll do it while sitting here. But you have to remember, in the Roman Empire you had pagans, and out of this came Abraham and the Jews. And out of Abraham and the Jews in the Roman Empire, you had Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ followers are called Christians. And they gave you another book called the New Testament. And then as the empire collapsed, especially the Roman Empire of the East, we see the rise of a lot of different religions, blended religions. One of these is Zoroastrianism. And we will see out of this coming a new prophet, Muhammad. Now, Muhammad says that God, the same God of Judaism and Christianity, sent the angel Gabriel, the same angel Gabriel, the archangel Gabriel that you see in all the Old Testament stories, to him when he was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, and basically said, I make you the new prophet, and here's my new faith. And it's a very simplistic faith. Compared to the Catholic faith, it is so simplistic because it is based on the 5 pillars of faith. This is not a faith that has a hierarchy. There's a faith that does not have bishops and archbishops or a pope. It doesn't have a patriarch. It doesn't have any of these things. Basically, you say your prayer to God, becoming Islam, to Allah. They call God Allah, which is the Arabic word for God, just like Jehovah is the Jewish word for God. You have to do your fasting during the holy days, Ramadan and things like that. You have to take care of the poor. So you've made your pledge, take care of the poor, do your fasting. You have to make a Hajj to Mecca, which this year has been canceled because of COVID. Sometime in your life, you're supposed to make a pilgrimage, which is called the Hajj, H-A-J, which is really a great word to use in Words with Friends because you'll get a lot of points. And so, and then your daily prayers. And so Muslims do not face east. They face Mecca. So wherever you are in the world, you face Mecca. It's not just east. For some reason, people think you just faced east. Well, if you lived in China, you would face west. So or if you lived in South Africa, you would face north. So do you realize you have the 5 pillars of faith? This becomes a very simple faith, but it splinters very quickly between who, after Muhammad dies, who is the inheritor to his caliph. Is it his brother-in-law? And so this is where you end up with Sunni and Sharia. Your book discusses this in great detail. I'm not going to go over this again. But it will split Islam. But one thing they do agree on is the idea of jihad, which is a holy war, which is these conversion wars. And one of the things that Muhammad and his followers are able to do is very quickly move out of the Middle East and conquer North Africa, cross over the Straits of Gibraltar into the Iberian Peninsula, capture almost all of Spain, and then cross over the Pyrenees into France. And this will finally awaken the Christian kings, and it will be the French kings. It will be the forerunners of Charlemagne. It'll be his grandfather and his great-grandfather that will say, hey, if we don't do something, Europe will fall. And so the Merovingian kings and the Carolingian kings, this is the Merovingian Carolingian dynasty, which I will do a lecture on, I promise you, next one, will unify together and say, we Christian kings and warlords and whoever, we must stop this Saracen or infidel invasion. It's interesting that we consider the Muslims infidels and the Muslims consider us infidels, but it works out. And so when we are looking at these two things, in 732, under the leadership of the Carolingian king, at the Battle of Tours, Tours, at Poitiers, France, Poitiers, we will see a massive stand of the Christian kings, and they will turn back the Muslim invaders, and that saves Europe for Christianity. And so that will begin the unifying of Europe and also the rise of the House of the Carolingians, which will give us Charlemagne, which will be our lecture for the next time. On one other note, for those of you who are history majors and had had Professor Anatoly before, I hate to tell you that he died suddenly last Wednesday. We have been friends for 30 years, close dear friends, and I will miss him dearly. But he went in the hospital on Monday for some tests on his stomach. Turned out he had colon and stomach cancer stage 4. He ran a fever on Tuesday, and he coded on Wednesday and died. And so he will be missed. I do have contact information if any of you who knew him want to reach out to his children. He was a single father for many years. So until we talk again, I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.